with an SEC opponent, Vanderbilt, and on the road. Does that make preseason preparation any more focused or intense, or you would hope it would with leading up going into the conference right off the bat?
Yeah, I don't think you ever take any opponent for granted, regardless of whether it's conference or not. I mean, that's our focus, and we work on ourselves in camp, but there comes a point when you've got to turn your attention to your opponent. We get to go on the road to Nashville to play a very well-coached Derek Mason football team. I have tremendous respect for those guys and the job they do, and our guys will be focused on that game.
Coach, we'll go right down here in front.
Joe Bombo, SB Nation Radio. I apologize if this question's been asked before, but with you being so close to the national championship and not wanting to take that step back, how important is it for you to promote in-house with your coordinators?
Well, I think that confidence is what allows you to promote in-house. And if I didn't have confidence in the men in the room, in the building, then I'd probably go outside and look and try to find the best guy that gives Georgia the best opportunity to win. But I think that we did some good things last year and in the years past, and the men in that room were part of that. And I think anytime you can promote from within, it gives the structure of the organization hope. It gives the guy beneath that guy the opportunity that if I assert myself and I do good things, then I have an opportunity to grow here. I don't have to leave here to grow. And if you hire good people and you grow them, then you want to keep them in your organization.
Coach, we'll go over to our left, about 3 quarters back.
Adam Sparks at Tennessee, and Kirby back on Vanderbilt. They have Vaughn, Pinckney, Lipscomb coming back. That's not typically the skill guys Vanderbilt would have in 1 year. What can you specifically say about what they bring to the table offensively?
Extremely talented. I mean, I feel like I've played against those guys for 10 years. Just seems like they've been there forever. Really talented players, and Pinckney's right down the road from us, and know how talented he is, and he's done a really good job, and they do a great job offensively getting those guys the ball.
Coach, we'll go back over to the right, on the right aisle.
Right here, Kirby. Joe Goodman, AL.com. Are you happy to see Jalen Hurts at Oklahoma? And how did that fourth quarter, how are you going to use that fourth quarter to motivate the team throughout the season?
Well, Jalen's done a tremendous job. Jalen was there when I was still there, and he came in right the last of the time that I was getting ready to play Clemson while I'd taken the head job at Georgia. And I got a lot of respect for him, and his dad, high school coach, has done a great job. He's played really well against us, and I give him nothing but the credit. What was the second part of that question? Yeah. Well, it's pretty easy. All you got to do is turn it on and see. But it is more than just that fourth quarter. It's a performance against Texas, which we weren't proud of, and we've got to grow and get better. So there's learning experiences all across the board. Going to Baton Rouge, tough experience. We didn't play our best game. We're going to have to go on the road in the SEC this year and play in some really tough environments. So biggest thing we take from those is we learn, but we also learn from our victories. And we had quite a few of those last year too.
Okay, we'll stay on that right side in the same area.
Alex Byington, Montgomery Advertiser. Not to belabor the point, but you talk about taking that next step. Obviously, that means going through Alabama in the SEC. What's it going to take to kind of get past that and get over the hump? You've been the closest among really anybody in the SEC of doing that.
Well, the next step for us, and I don't mean this to be trite, but is Vanderbilt. You have to get to that point because we don't have Alabama on our schedule. We know that Alabama's been very powerful in this conference for a long time. We respect the job they do. Got a lot of respect for Coach Saban and his program. I probably wouldn't be here today if it weren't for him. But I also understand that we've got a really good program too. We've been able to recruit at a high level. I'm excited about this team we've got coming back. And biggest thing is concerning ourselves with us and not concerning ourselves with somebody else.
Okay, we'll go here in the middle section right in front of us.
Hey Kirby, Matt Baker with the Tampa Bay Times. You've been around Georgia high school football for quite some time. How much better have you seen that get over the years, and how are you as a program benefiting from that through recruiting?
Yeah, I don't know that you could measure it in statistical gains because they only play each other. So it's not like you can measure it in wins and losses. I think you measure it in the quality of coach you get, and I think that our state of Georgia does a great job with educators. Number one, paying educators, paying high school coaches, and when you have a support structure like the state of Georgia Education Department, you're able to get the best of the coaches. I can't tell you how many places I go in the country to speak that they say, I would love to get a job in the state of Georgia. I got a lot of respect for the state of Georgia. Not necessarily just the talent of the players, but the structure of the school systems, the support of the communities of their football programs, and that's hard to beat anywhere in the country, and we're really proud of that, and it's certainly been an impact on our program.
Okay, we'll go back left section. We'll go back over here to the left.
Mike Bianchi, Orlando Sentinel. Coach, are you definitely for moving that Florida-Georgia game to home and home? And also, what are your thoughts on Gator fans sort of trolling Georgia fans on social media this offseason, considering the way you guys have handled them the last couple of years?
I'm for what's best for the University of Georgia, and as a group and as a staff and as administration, and we'll look at that internally and make the decisions based on what is best for our student athletes and what's best for the university. I don't get caught up in the emotion of this decision or that decision. I look at it from a perspective of 10,000 feet where I say, what is best for our program? And it's that simple, and we'll make that decision as a group and go with it. As far as Florida's concerned, we really don't get caught up in that. We're really focused on us. We got enough in-house things that we have to manage that I'm not caught up in the affair with social media and trolling.
Hey, Coach, we'll go in this middle section, about 5 rows back.
Andy Walsh from the Red and Black. You guys have a lot of depth in the offensive line this year. Are you getting a sense of what that starting 5 will be, or is it still up in the air? And then also, are you expecting a lot of rotation during the year?
Yeah, it's hard for me to get a sense right now because I'm only able to see them, work out and go out and lift and run with the strength coaches. So it's hard to measure that. We've got some really good competition across the board. The unique thing, we've got some guys who have started games who may not be starters. Some guys who have been starters who may get beat out by some guys who are rotational players. So I love the competition we've got at the offensive line. I wouldn't say that you ever have enough because we learned last year that you can have injuries at that position probably a higher rate than any other, with the offensive linemen getting tangled up and with the war in the trenches. So we had to use that to help us.
All right, we'll go back over here on the second row. Bob?
Hey, Kirby. Nick Saban's assistants or former assistants are like 0-16 against him, or 0-something.
I'm well aware.
Yeah. Do you think somebody's, because it seems like half the conference used to coach for him. Are you confident somebody's going to beat him? You've obviously come close. What's it going to take to beat him? And then also, what's it like going against him on the recruiting trail?
Am I confident somebody's going to beat him? It depends on how long he coaches. So it depends on how many opportunities they get. Inevitably, I think with enough opportunities, everything can happen. But I got a lot of respect for the job he does. I got a lot of respect for their program. The success he's gotten has been earned. Make no mistake about that. He's earned it. It's not one thing he asks his assistant coaches to do that he doesn't do himself. And then as far as on the recruiting trail, he's like he is on the field. He's very relentless. He's active as a recruiter. When you talk to a kid, a lot of times you find out he's talked to Coach Saban as well. Well, that's part of it. It's communication skills that help you recruit, and he doesn't leave any stone unturned. And I got a lot of respect for the job he does.
All right, Coach, we'll go in the center section along the right aisle.
Wes Blankenship, WXIA out of Atlanta. Coach, could you please explain further the decision and what went into Jeremiah Holloman's dismissal from the team? And for Jake,